Hey YouTube, I'm back with another mechanical pencil review, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the highly anticipated Rotring Rapid Pro, which I had finally broken down and ordered. I was looking to get more deeply into the Rotring line, and Rotring pencils are expensive. And I had hesitated and hesitated, and then I got a nice gift card from school this year. And so I decided that I would take the plunge. And so I'm going to do a little unboxing here of the Rotring Rapid Pro and compare it to some of my other drafting mechanical pencils and make a case for it going into the top 10. And so let's go ahead and get started. So it comes in this attractive triangular box, Rotring Rapid Pro, and it's got these little nubs here. We're going to open it up, and it comes attached securely with the pocket clip to the box. And so when you take it out, you'll also notice that it has like this little instruction sheet. It's not really an instruction sheet. It's just sort of an advertisement for other Rotring mechanical pencils that are available. And then they clearly package this with all their mechanical pencils because there's a little guide for using the stylus for the Rotring 800 on the back. And then it may be difficult to see here on video, but on the interior of it, it comes with a little description of the history of Rotring. Now, Rotring is not owned by a German company anymore. It's owned, I believe, by a Japanese company, and they're just using the Rotring brand and manufacturing the pencils in Japan. But here's a little bit of history about the brand. It says, Rotring was born in 1928 in the area of the influential Bauhaus design school in Germany. Their modernist art into industry philosophy still inspires our unique approach to industrial design. We design tools to enable people to think and create whenever inspiration takes them. Our creative tools are engineered with German precision, ensuring premium performance. And so, Rotring is not owned by a German company anymore, but it has this reputation of quality mechanical drafting pencils. And so I'll look in and I'll put in into the video here who actually owns Rotring right now to sort of supplement what we're discussing here. And so here's the pencil. It's all brass. I got it in matte black for a very specific reason. And the first thing that strikes you with the Rotring mechanical pencil, of course, is this red ring, which is located in different places depending upon the model of the mechanical pencil that you're working with. For the Rotring Rapid Pro, it's right above the knurling of the grip. And Rotring in German is red ring. And so that's sort of the distinctive brand styling that this company has always brought to its writing utensils. And I was a little hesitant with the Rapid Pro because I'm kind of finicky and nitpicky about knurling on grips. This is a knurled grip. It's a very fine knurling, but what surprised me right away when I got this, and I was very pleased about this, is that even though it's a fine knurling, it is not smooth, which is a big problem with a lot of knurled grips. I want my knurled grips to be grippy. I don't want them to be smooth. If they're smooth, you might as well just make the material smooth. And this knurled grip feels great in my hand. It's like what I would consider to be a medium amount or degree of knurling on a mechanical pencil. And if we were to draw a couple of comparisons real quick with other mechanical pencils, if we compare it to the Pentel line of drafting pencils, okay, here are two of the Pentel drafting pencils. We have the Graph Gear 500, which has a knurled grip, but the rest of the body of the pencil is plastic, and the Graph Gear 1000, which has a knurled grip that are supplemented by these little rubber nubs, and it is an all aluminum construction mechanical pencil. And Graph Gear 500 is not in my top 10. It just lacks a lot of features that would vault a pencil into my top 10. And then the Graph Gear 1000 is in my top 10 and has a lot of interesting features, especially the Graph Gear 1000 is, of course, pocket safe. And so you can extend the lead sleeve on the Graph Gear 1000 to carry it in your pocket without damaging your pocket. And the Rotring Rapid Pro has that as well. And so what's the difference in the knurling on these grips compared to the Rapid Pro? Well, one of my big criticisms of the Graph Gear 1000, and it remains this, is that even though it's a knurled grip, it feels very slippery in my hand. And I want a good grip on my mechanical pencils. And so the Graph Gear 1000 takes a big hit. It deserves to be in my top 10. It's a great mechanical pencil, and it is probably one of the easiest mechanical pencils to obtain in the United States at any big box store if you're looking for something of quality but don't want to spend a huge amount of money on it. The Graph Gear 500 is usually available available at art stores like Blick. It's available at Blick. And the knurling on the Graph Gear 500 honestly isn't that better. And so if I were to compare a knurled grip that is more similar to the Rotring Rapid Pro, that's when we start getting into the Uni-Shift pipe lock, which the Uni-Shift pipe lock has a very nice knurled grip. This pencil is in my top 10. It does have a retractable sleeve, making it pocket safe. But my big criticism of the Uni-Shift is that it has this itty-bitty, tiny, not even worth it to be there other than to plug the lead chamber drafting eraser. And so I love the Uni-Shift. It's in my top 10. I think it clocks in at number 9 or 8 or 9, somewhere around there. And you'll see a description in the video, and I'll post here in the video here in a second with the information on that. So that's got a very nice knurled grip that's more comparable to the Rapid Pro. And then we can also compare it to the Alvin Draftmatic, which the Alvin Draftmatic is kind of modeled after a classic mechanical pencil, the Koh-i-Noor Rapidomatic. I don't have a Rapidomatic. I really want one, and I don't want to pay out of the nose on YouTube to get one. So if you have any tips for me, leave them in the comments down below. The Draftmatic has one of the sharpest knurled grips that I've ever had with a drafting mechanical pencil, and that's part of the reason why I like it, because I really like grippiness on my knurled grips. So if I were to compare the Rotring Rapid Pro to any in this series, it would be most like the Uni-Shift, which is a compliment because I like the knurling on the Uni-Shift. And so that was one thing that surprised me about the Rapid Pro, that really pleased me that I had taken the plunge on it, because I was a little concerned about whether or not I would like the knurling on the grip, because if it were smooth, I would not like it. And it's not smooth, and so I feel pretty good about this. Now, the Rotring Rapid Pro has a true sliding sleeve, so when you press the plunger, the sleeve comes out, so it is pocket safe. And if we do the lead test on the Rapid Pro, which for most people, you click it 10 times and see about how much you have. Now, I do not have a ruler with me, but generally Pentel mechanical pencils, you'll get about 6 millimeters out of 10 clicks. And so let's see how we do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the way, the click mechanism is very satisfying on the Rapid Pro. And we're looking like we're getting about 0.6 centimeters or 6 millimeters out of the Rapid Pro as well. A lot of people like to have control with their mechanical pencils, and that means not having a lot of lead being clicked out whenever you click it, so that you have a little bit more control over how much you put out, and you're the one who's deciding that, not the pencil. Continuing on the tour of the pencil, we have the lovely red ring made out of plastic. I think this might be the only part of the pencil that's plastic, actually. Rest of it's made out of brass. The body is hexagonal, and the pocket clip is very, very strong. Very, very strong pocket clip. It's not very springy. It's going to connect to whatever you need to connect it to in order to make sure that you're not going to lose it. And like I said, this is an expensive mechanical pencil, so you're definitely not going to want to lose it. You're going to want to take care of it and do your best with it to keep it nice. And then for the eraser cap, which is also made out of metal, we have a standard drafting eraser. It's not the same as the Pentel Z2-1. It's a little smaller than that. And the Rotring Rapid Pro, it's really in there. Comes with a tiny one. It does not have a lead jam clear, unfortunately. But it's what you would expect from a drafting pencil. You're not really buying this for the eraser. You're going to have a dedicated eraser. And so, yeah, that's the basic construction of the Rotring Rapid. Oh, one last thing for the cap. Rotring pencils are famous for having open caps, so you can see that there's a little hole in the cap. The jury is out as to what this is for. I've heard two things online, and I subscribe to one of them more than the other. Some people have said that the purpose of having the hole in the cap is so that the eraser does not dry out. I don't really understand that, because I'm not sure how you prevent an eraser from drying out by exposing it to air. I don't really get that. So if someone can explain that to me, I mean, I'm a science teacher, folks, and I don't really understand how exposing your eraser to the elements is going to prevent it from drying out and cracking. Because the more it's exposed to the environment, the more air molecules are running into it, and the more likely you're going to get it to dry out, in my opinion. The other explanation that people have that I'm more inclined to have is that this is so that if you're storing this tip down, Since the Rotring Rapid Pro comes in pen models as well, this is what shows you that this is an eraser, that this has an eraser and is therefore a mechanical pencil, as opposed to a pen. And, I'm not real keen on storing my pencils tip down. Now, this one has the retractable sleeve, so you're not going to damage the sleeve while you're storing it cap down. But maybe if you have a lot of these pencils and you're a drafter or an architect, and you go through a lot of these pencils over the course of your work, maybe you don't mind them storing them cap down, because the necessity of having them available in your little bin is going to be more necessary than taking care of the tip. I don't know. Okay, you tell me, because I'm not if I'm being naive, let me know. So this pencil has a lot of great features. Let's run down my rating scale for it. So for writing experience, which is the most important category that I have for rating a mechanical pencil, I'm going to go ahead and give this a great, because it feels great in my hand. If there's any con to the writing experience for the Rotring Rapid Pro, for me it is definitely that it is a little weighty, being made out of brass, and so I don't know how long I don't know if I'd be able to do a lot of marathon writing with this one, but it oozes quality. And speaking of quality, I'm going to go ahead and break with my normal rating scale here, and I'm going to give this beast a superb. I rarely give out superb ratings for anything, because I'd like to think that I have high standards, but I think that if there's any mechanical pencil based upon its quality that deserves a really exceptional rating, it would be the Rotring mechanical pencils. And this Rapid Pro is no exception. For features, I'm going to give it a good, maybe a good plus. We'll go with good plus on it. And key features, of course, are the sliding sleeve. I don't really detect a lot of play in the sleeve, which is always an issue with extendable sleeve mechanical pencils, and it could be that this is a true sliding sleeve, which the sleeve is fully retracted in the body and then extends out when you press the plunger. Maybe that is what is influencing the fact that it doesn't have a lot of play, and so that's a good sign. Because for a lot of artists and architects, I hear having play at the tip of their pencil is an annoyance to them and it impacts their precision. But for doing general writing with this, which I will, that is not something that I have an issue with. And so hopefully that's a positive thing for this one. It does have the drafting eraser, which for a drafting mechanical pencil, you would sort of expect that. And then last but certainly not least, we need the cost. Okay, what's the expense on this? So for cost rating, I'm going to rate it expensive, because it's definitely on the expensive side. It was a while before I decided to take the plunge on this, because it is so expensive. It retails for 45 USD, okay, which is pretty expensive for a drafting pencil and a mechanical pencil in general. And you can get it for $40 on jetpens.com. We love jetpens.com, of course. And so JetPens, if you're listening, send me free samples. I didn't go with JetPens on this one because I happen to have an Amazon gift certificate that I wanted to use from school. And so I got this off Amazon. Amazon has this sneaky, tricky practice of, depending upon how often you leave something sitting in your cart or the time of day, the price on items can change. And so I sort of worked the price on this Rapid Pro in that it started, I think, at $35. I left it in my cart for a while. I took it out of my cart. I put it back in my cart. I took it out again and let the Amazon algorithm stew over that. And then eventually I got it down to about $31 they offered it to me for, and that's when I bit. And so that's, on the low end of what you can expect to pay for a Rapid Pro, because this is a really high quality mechanical pencil, and you get what you pay for, basically, is what it comes down to. And so if you have any questions or have any suggestions for me, I'm thinking about getting the Rotring 600 after holding this in my hand. I didn't like the styling of the body on the Rotring 600 from the end of the knurling past the red ring, because it felt just really sharp to me. Now, granted, I do hold mechanical pencils really low compared to a lot of people, and so maybe it isn't going to bother me as well, knowing that the Rotring Rapid Pro was such a huge success. And so I'll let you know if I end up getting a Rotring 600, and I'll keep updating with videos on mechanical pencils, and I'll keep updating my blog, klexer.wordpress.com. So if you're interested in games or gaming, tactical games especially like Battletech, X-Wing miniatures, and board games I really like. But I also do a fair amount of blogging on mechanical pencils on that blog as well. And so check it out if that's something that you're interested in. And so, oh, where does this land on the top 10? I almost forgot. Well, Rotring Rapid Pro is going to come in at number 3 on my top 10. It really deserves to be there. It's going to come right below the Pentel Carry, which is my number 1, which you can read about that on my blog. For why I rate it that way. And second would be the Pilot S20, which has the right ergonomics that feels great in your hand. It's the best pencil in terms of writing for me. I'm going to put the Rotring Rapid Pro at number 3, and everything else then below it is going to shift down. Next would be the Tombow Zoom, and you can read the list. I'll post the list here. I am knocking the Rotring Tiki off my list. I really like the feel of the Rotring Tiki in my hand. It's the cheapest Rotring pencil that you can buy. It is lower quality. It's an all-plastic interior. It's a good pencil. I don't really feel like I can justify it being in my top 10 anymore, and so you can check out my review of the Rotring Tiki on my blog. But that's leaving the top 10, and this is coming in at number 3 on my top 10 list for mechanical pencils. Wonderful pencil, and so check it out. Thanks for watching.